All right, welcome into Prize Picks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick and at 5 Reasons Sports. We got a full boat today. David Eversole, you can follow him at David W. Eversole. Greg Sylvander, you can follow him at Greg Sylvander. Eric Wadicki, you can follow him at Greg Wadicki. Make sure that you download the Prize Picks app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store or prizepicks.com. Use the code 5, FIVE. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. The most important thing we're going to tell you today. You don't have to put the whole 100 down at first. Make sure that you put it down or use that code 5 because they will match you once. There are no rollovers, but this is free money that you get to play on Prize Picks. Again, use the code 5, FIVE. And of course, you can match different sports, different teams. And we're going to talk about two different sports today. We will get to Heat and Warriors in a second. We know that that's on people's mind if they follow this channel. Of course, Jimmy Butler is not playing tonight, so we will get into that more specifically. But there is a Thursday night game of some significance. I'm not sure everybody thought this would be significant at this point, at least not from the Browns' perspective. Browns and Jets. So we will get to that first. Eric, what do you like here on the NFL game tonight?
On the NFL game tonight, my absolute favorite play might be my favorite play of the night. Breece Hall over 4.5 receptions. He ended up with 12 last week, and he's gone over that number in 4 out of the last 5 games. Breece is against a really good pass rush for Cleveland. They're going to look for their outlet guys, and I think Breece is going to take advantage.
That looks promising to me. I will say that. Yeah. I like Garrett Wilson today, though, actually. I know, again, the Cleveland defense has been terrific, but for that reason, I think the Jets might fall behind. So I'm going to go. And Trevor Siemian, at least, is an NFL-level quarterback. He's not a great one, but it's not like with the slop that the Jets have put out there so far this season, Dan Boyle or whatever. So I feel like Garrett Wilson get over. Was it 51.5 receiving yards tonight? Kind of like that one. Wasn't real comfortable on the Cleveland side tonight with anything specifically. David, what do you like on the Jets Browns game?
I looked at Flacco, obviously. He's been kind of a comeback story for the ages here. He was sort of completely out of the NFL, and then now all of a sudden he's right in the thick of a playoff race. So I looked at Flacco over completions. He was at 21.5, and that number's actually been bumped. So it seems like maybe the Sharps are with me on that. Now that's up to 22.5. I still think it's a decent play at that number, but I got in at 21.5. I feel like against a pretty good Jets secondary, he's going to look to spread the ball around, and Amari Cooper's status being questionable, he's going to look for some easy completions early. And Njoku's been amazing. So he's got 2 or 3 other guys that he can get the ball to. I feel like they have enough weapons, even with Amari, maybe not at 100%, that he'll be able to get over this number. So I like Flacco a lot on completions today.
Greg, anything on the NFL game tonight?
Actually, I went less than 11.5 on Jerome Ford's fantasy score. And a lot of that has to do with the Jets, obviously, strident defense, but also I just the last 2 weeks, they've looked really weird with him. He played really well. The last 2 weeks, Jerome Ford has been it's just, if you've seen the Browns, which bless you if you have, they've not been pretty. I've had to tune in for fantasy playoff purposes, and so I'm fading this, even though you'd think maybe Cleveland gets up big, they're handing the ball off, the game script favors him. I'm going in the opposite direction. Jerome Ford, less than 11.5 fantasy score.
I mean, the Browns may be the 1 seed in the AFC. They still have a shot at that, which is kind of remarkable here at this stage. Not likely, but could happen. All right, let's go over to the NBA now, and I'll give you sort of the rundown on the Heat situation. No Jimmy Butler, no Caleb Martin, likely no Josh Richardson, no Kyle Lowry. So 4 rotation players, including 3 recent starters, not playing in Golden State. The Warriors are fairly healthy today. So they started to put some of the hottest props on the board here. I know that, Greg, you got in early on Bam. It's gone up a little bit since. I'll give you my one prop today. I like Hero over 5 assists. I looked at the points, rebounds, and assists for him, but I just think tonight, I mean, they don't have a point guard. Like, the ball's going to be in his hands a ton, and I think he's going to want to prove to people that he can set other players up. We may get some RJ Hampton minutes, but other than that, it's going to be Tyler playing 38 plus minutes. I think he accumulates. At the very worst, I see a push there on the assists. I was not comfortable playing Bam tonight. look, Jaquez, it's just getting so pricey. I mean, 16.5 points. And remember when he was 8.5. Greg, would you play Jaquez tonight?
Oh my gosh. Let me show you the free square. Go to 1.5 blocks and steals. Money. This is money all day and night. And he's getting major minutes tonight. Just take the free square and thank me later. I also like his points, rebounds, and assists because I think his assists could go up on a night that they have no point guard. I like Bam's points, rebounds, and assists. I mentioned that earlier. But the square I just showed is the free one of the night from the Miami Heat.
Eric, what do you like on the Heat side?
Yeah, so I'm taking Bam points, rebounds, and assists. I know you're a little bit hesitant on it. But, in the last few years, I think we looked at matchups against teams that didn't have really good size, and we wondered why Bam wouldn't dominate those teams, and it's happening this year. He looked at the Paul Reed matchup on Christmas Day, got personally offended, dropped 26, 15, and 5 on his dome piece. He's going to do the same against the small Warriors.
Okay. That's fair. David, what do you think on the Heat side?
Yeah, maybe Bam, like rebounds and assists. He's been pretty solid the last couple of games in that category. His rebounding started off slow this year, so he's kind of rounding into shape in terms of that. But I'm going to look on Golden State, actually. One of those I feel like is kind of a layup, and that's Clay over 4.5 rebounds.
Okay.
Or 3.5 rebounds, excuse me. But I feel like, they need to kind of collectively rebound in this game, and 3.5 is a very friendly number for Clay. So I jumped all over that one. But for Hero, I've been playing Hero on rebounds and assists lately.
Okay. So what is that number? Because I'm curious if that's a better play than just the 5 assists flat on him.
It's 10.5 rebounds and assists.
Yeah, feels like if he doesn't get one, he'll get the other.
Yeah, I played that. The Orlando game was the one where he went well over that one.
I was just going to sneak in. Going to sneak in and say only because of the minutes tonight and the usage tonight, because there's no other guy that does what Tyler does really playing for the Heat. I think that you're on to something, Ethan, with taking these overs on Tyler.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Again, Jaquez, you like the 1.5. I'm going to switch to the other side. Kuminga's been getting a lot more minutes lately. He's been much more productive. Kerr seems inclined to play him. He also seems like the kind of player that would give the Heat problems if he's right. So I went over on Kuminga points, rebounds, and assists at 18.5. Look the way he's trending lately, getting more minutes. Can you call up the pods numbers for me? Because again, he's been an easy win, but it's sort of like the Jaquez thing where PrizePicks is starting to catch up to it. So, where's he at?
10.5 rebounds and assists.
Yeah, that's a good play.
Been over it. Yeah, been over it. I think,
played that.
I would not play Wiggins. I'm uncomfortable with playing Wiggins. He's just been so inconsistent this year that I don't know that I would go. He's been playing better of late. And I don't know that I touched the Chris Paul thing either, so that I wouldn't go with those. Would either of you guys, Eric, David, Greg, any of you guys play Steph tonight?
Yes. Point of attack defenders are out. Yes.
Yeah.
Did I tell you something,
outside of Haywood, who else did they throw at him?
But here's the thing, okay? I get it. And I know they don't have their usual complement. They'll throw Kane at him too. So they have two guys. I'll say this, and they'll throw RJ Hampton at him also. He's gonna get some reps on him too. So they have three bodies. It's not the guys they would necessarily want on the offensive end in Highsmith, Kane, and Hampton. But here's my thing about it though, is that they have typically done a good job on him. I mean, not to the level that they have on Trey and LaMelo. And now we see Maxey. Like there is a trend here where the Heat do a number on these kind of high volume guards. Look at Steph's numbers against the Heat. He's had a couple of games, but most of his games he's not that efficient. So I would feel better if Jimmy was playing because Jimmy takes some reps on him too. But I don't know that I would play him over anything. Of the board here, which would you guys play him over? I mean, look at his numbers lately. He's under all these numbers lately. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe rebounds and assists.
The-
Something odd like that. Rebounds and assists. I could see him grabbing like 6 boards and 5 assists, something along those lines,
No.
or the other way around.
I'm
Something
taking
weird
the
like
3-pointers. I'm taking the threes. He's going to
4.5.
drain at
The
least
makes or the attempts, Greg?
the attempts. I'll take the attempts.
11.5.
Yep, I'm taking it.
I can see that. Does anybody think with as shorthanded as the Heat are, though, that Steph might get a fourth quarter off?
No, I think the Heat win tonight.
Okay. Well, play that on Better Edge, but we're talking about PrizePicks here. All right. Any closing thoughts here? Other than this, use the code 5FIVE. Oh, I got a couple of other NBA picks. I'll just give them to you real quick. I know we had talked about this, but there are a couple plays that I like. Lauri Markkanen has been on fire lately. I know, David, you've had some luck with going under on guys lately on the NBA, which it does seem like that's the play lately. I don't know, maybe because I'm just missing a lot of stuff, but the unders seem to be hitting. But Markkanen hit 40 points, rebounds, and assists the other night. He's at 33.5 tonight against New Orleans. I feel like he'll get that. And I really like, there he is, 4 of the last 5. He's been over that number. And I like Bojan Bogdanovic for Detroit, over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists against Boston. Detroit has very few NBA players. He's one of them. He'll get the minutes against Boston. I think he clears that. Anybody else have any other NBA picks they like?
Just Cade points, rebounds, assists for the same reasons you just gave for Bogdanovic on Detroit.
There you go. He's been over that. I mean, 55 in the last one. So yeah, he's been flying. Eric, David, anything you like?
I got Colin Sexton, points, rebounds, and assists. He's been playing really good ball lately for Utah. And then I got Anthony Edwards over 5 free throws. Just gets to the rim a ton.
Yeah, I feel like that's there it is. There's some guys that they haven't caught up on. Sexton, they've popped a little bit lately. But you see, yeah, he's been over that of late. His number's been creeping up. Yeah, for sure. All right, so use the code 5. Oh, David, I didn't ask you. You had one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give you the under. Herbert Jones under 11.5 points and assists. He's been under this number 7 out of the last 10 games. And I just feel like, when you're looking at these marginal guys, like this is where you play the unders. You don't play the unders on the stars. You play the unders on the Herbert Joneses of the world. So I feel pretty good about this one, just statistically speaking. And Vegas, I mean, this is like minus 125, minus 130. So I feel pretty okay about it. Just looking at the numbers here.
All right, and we got a Sexton over. We've got a Herb Jones under. And we pray for Amari Cooper's health because I need him tonight to finish up another play. All right, thanks to Eric, thanks to Greg, thanks to David. We'll be back for the weekend. We've got a Heat game on Saturday and obviously Dolphins-Ravens on Sunday. So we'll do a big workup before that one. Again, use the code 5. Have a good night, everybody.